We got a bunch of it was loud. Last summer, somebody was playing pinball.
And there were like 30 of us. This will be like 130 people. Okay, I can do this again.
So you know what I was looking at? Those are good to go. I think those are good to go. Yeah. Or cycle DBW pretty much.
Yeah, it's a social thing.
Sorry, Mr. Lee. Oh, man. I'm not going to get Friday. Okay. I had another meeting down early. I know it's amazing. But back to back meetings is crazy. Yeah, once she told me the time, I'm like, I wasn't going to do that. Right. I'm glad I got a chance like I said.
Our church. That's household too. Yeah, exactly. Pay twice. Really interesting to be here. She is not, so we'll kick off with you.
I know 25th.
We're gonna kick off accelerated schedule.
And I'll just say, he's busy.
Should be fine. Traffic good. Okay. Get us down there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends, neighbors. Thank you for coming out. My name is Isaac Morrison. I'm the president of the Community Association. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to go over tonight. I'm going to hand it off to our esteemed facilitator. Check 1, 2, 1, 2.
Is this better or is this better? How do y'all feel? All right, okay. So I'll kick us off with, my name is Gregory. I live off of Greenmount and 27th Street. Hey neighbors. Let's make it a little loud. I'll start off with our community agreements. First off is, let's keep it deep, but let's keep it brief. We got a lot of time and a lot of people. So make sure that you're saying everything that you want to say in as quick amount of time as you can. Listen deeply. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so use them accordingly. Respect the meeting time constraints. We got, again, a lot to go through, a lot of important things. We want to make sure that we get through it all. Trust and be accountable to these community agreements. You know, if we don't follow them, if we don't have a community, what do we have? Just the wrong people. And then step up, step back. Again, challenge yourself to do whatever feels uncomfortable. First off, I will kick it off to Leah Lynch.
We're going to actually throw over to Peter. Leah's not here, so.
Okay. We'll start with Peter Duvall, who is from Baltimore Community Development Services, to talk.
It's been a long time since I've been to a Harwood meeting. Thank you very much. Actually, I always have other meetings scheduled, but I've been away so long that I really should have been back quite a while ago. But anyway, I've been working on basically vacancy issues in Harwood since 2002. And back in 2002, the neighborhood had 190 vacant houses. Now we're down to about 25. And actually 25 with west of Greenbelt. There's, as you know, there's a few east of Greenbelt too. But we're working on those too. And so anyway, what I've been doing is working with the city's code enforcement apparatus to, first of all, get houses that are abandoned into vacancy status so that they can be dealt with legally, and then working with the attorneys to make sure that that happens. The attorney, we have a longtime attorney here. He's generally pretty good about moving things along as fast as he can, but sometimes even he delays things, so I have to remind him. I guess I'm here, I'm going to leave some cards, and if you know about abandoned houses in the neighborhood that don't have vacant building notices, or you are concerned about a particular house that's a problem house, you can just send me an email, you can call me and let me know that. Right now, west of Greenbelt, there's only 2 vacant houses that I know of that don't have vacant building notices, and that's 407 East 27th Street and Whitbridge. 407, I'm sorry. 407 and 437 Whitbridge Avenue. So, and there's some other houses near 437 Woodridge that may be abandoned. Certainly have trash in the backyard, but I don't know for sure that they're abandoned. So that's the main thing I'm doing in a place like Harwood, which has had a lot of progress with reducing vacancy, is to just make sure that everything that really has been abandoned gets its vacant building notice, gets turned over, gets reoccupied. And that's what I've been doing for over 20 years. So, does anyone have any questions? Like that?
What constitutes abandoned?
Well, abandoned just means that no one's living there and the landlord or the owner's given up on it. Vacant building notice is a different matter. That's a legally defined situation where it's got boarded windows and doors, it's open casual entry, they say. It's open. It's got a whole roof. It's and there's some other definitions that are harder to define. It's got a whole bunch of violations that haven't been taken care of for a long time and can be declared vacant. But that's basically how it happens. So first it's abandoned, and then it becomes vacant.
What's your email?
It is communitydevservices@gmail.com, but I'll just give you a card. Is there a question?
So it's pretty much that. On our street, there are definitely houses that are empty that presumably someone intends to lease them, but there's no one living there that way with funds.
Right.
And so my question was similar, like what's the threshold? Like when does that become disconcerting in the mind of the
Yeah,
community development?
and when the owner appears to have given up on it, that's when I start to get concerned.
Okay,
If they really appear to want to lease it, then I'm not all that concerned.
okay.
Is there a time frame, 6 months, 8 months, a year, where no activity is happening or something?
I'd say a place that's been empty over 6 months is a reason to be concerned. especially if they're not working on it. Yeah, a neighborhood like Harwood, people want to live here. No problem getting people to live in Harwood. So if no one's living in a house for a long period of time, that's a problem. It's something that shouldn't happen. It's not economics, it is the owner not doing what they're supposed to do.
Are you familiar with any programs the city has that can help if you're looking to purchase a property or it's been abandoned and you want to rehab it or anything like that?
They do have a program, I don't know how well it's operating, where they're trying to help people who are like long-term residents of the city get properties.
Buy in the bulk.
Buy in the bulk.
There's like 3 different programs. I think they're undergoing a little bit of restructuring right now, but I can send you I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, the reason they're going so slow is they were supposed to be acquiring the properties through a legal process called in rem, and that just took longer to get going than they thought it would. So probably sometime in the next year, more properties will probably become available through the city than are available now. Because right now it's very few. Okay, no other questions? I'm going to leave my cards here, and if you think of something later, pick up a card and just let me know.
All right. Next up, we'll be going to DPW on the rate hikes. I saw him passing out the flyers on the table.
If you could, try to use the mic, just because sometimes folks playing pinball over there will play a machine right by the door, and all of a sudden it gets loud.
It also helps the live stream. So people can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Objection. All right, told I've got a big mouth. Hopefully this will translate for that. Real quick, Eric Riddick, DPW, I represent DPW CSSD, that's the Customer Service and Support Division. That's primarily the individuals when you're doing your billing and there's some information in regards to some discrepancies with your billing, you got questions in regards to that. I'm the team, or we are the department in question that you come out and we reach out to, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do, you guys got a couple of flyers, but the one thing I want to say before I start off with anything, there's a couple of numbers that I want to impart upon you guys, and then I'll pass it along to the moderator so that it can be within the link within the chat for later. So the first one is going to be for our Customer Service and Support Division. It's 410-396-5398. Or you can send an email if you've got billing questions to depw.billing@baltimorecity.gov. And then there's a Water for All financial assistance. So you can check there for your eligibility. You can call that number at 410-396-5555 or Promise Pay. And that's a payment plan. It's a flexible interest-free plan to pay off past due bills. And you can reach that number at 410-779-9808. And again, I'll leave my card and I'll make sure that the moderator has access to this information for you, right? So why are we here, right? The fun part. And it's really not fun, right? But the Baltimore City Department of Public Works has proposed a multi-year rate adjustment to utility rates aimed at maintaining the financial sustainability of the city's aging water and water system. The adjustment will support the necessary capital investments to meet federal and state regulatory standards and meet rising costs, right? What we can do with some of those things, small changes within your household can make a big difference to conserving water as well as reducing your cost overall. That's following simple saving tips like tracking the usage of your water for the most part by using a portal. You can contact the number that I gave you guys earlier, the 410-396-5398. They can set you up within the portal, get you access to that, so that way you can monitor your bill, you can monitor the uses that you guys have within your household. Fix any repairs and leaks, right? Fix any repairs and leaks. If you got a drippy, running faucet, that's a telltale sign that you've got an issue going on, and that's going to increase your bill. If you've got a running toilet, same situation. If there's any concerns in regards to that, then what we say is do those flow tests so you can see if you've got any drains or if you've got any outstanding water that's overflowing, that's running, so you can get an idea to see what that looks like. Those things go a long way into reducing your bill and helping reduce your bill. So for the most part, multiple city households maintain water costs an increase approximately of 9.66. For example, if you currently have a bill of $130.50, your bill will rise to by 12.58, bringing your total to about $142.73 per month. All right. Why are these rates increasing? Again, Baltimore water and water systems are aging and require significant investment to maintain rising costs for construction equipment and labor, with strict regulatory requirements, making it essential to continue investing in our infrastructure. These increases help ensure long-term safety and reliability of our water. Why now? I'm sorry, question.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just curious, is there publicly available information on, for instance, what projects are recently completed, what projects are underway to renovate the water and sewer infrastructure? And even better, in support of the idea that inflation is a problem, do we have access to in 2020 it costs X thousand dollars per meter of pipe renovated, and over the last several years that has gone up because we have to pay our foreman X much more and so on.
Metrics and metrics.
Sure, and that's a fair question. And there's on our website, DPW, if you go to our website, DPW, BaltimoreCity.gov, you can actually see the outstanding capital improvement projects that we have in relation to infrastructure, as well as the cost for those projects that we're currently implementing. So if you check our website, and I would recommend that everyone go to our website to review that information at DPW. Best thing you can do, Google search, City of Baltimore, DPW, Department of Public Works.
Thank you.
No, thank you, great question. Anyone else?
Jay, I have a question.
Go for it.
What is the minimum bill that someone could expect based off, I guess, the base value for the infrastructure projects? I know if you look at an itemized bill, there's things that you pay for that are kind of the set. They're not necessarily attributed to the rate that you're using. So hypothetically, if someone use no water but they're still receiving a bill, what should that bill look like?
So bills are based off of contracts, the first set of contracts, and I think that's what you're alluding to. So you have a set of contracts within your bill that you can actually see. So I can't tell you specifically what your bill is going to be because based off of the meters that you have, based off of the pipes that you have within your infrastructure determines what those costs will be outright. And I can't give you that because it varies from structure to structure. Sorry.
I have a question.
Good question.
Two questions.
Go for it.
First question. It's DPW, right?
Department of Public Works.
Did they know that these pipes were gonna need fixing, or is this an emergency?
Well, so it's a twofold thing, right? So we're well.
So that's just kind of yes or no.
So I would say yes, we are aware that these pipes require fixing. So, but it's caveat. So
I didn't. Let me do my second part. So if they knew it was gonna come to a point where they need to fix it, why didn't they plan for it? Where they wouldn't have to have a 6%, 7% increase, 12% increase, all this stuff. If they planned for it, then it could have been, we're taking $1 this year, $1 next year, and over 10 years, they could have planned for it. And I think it's cool that you're here, but it doesn't change anything with most people's schools.
no, I understand. Fair question. Thank you for the question. So are we aware that there will be changes in the bill? Yes, but I was about to jump in for the simple fact that sometimes it's not a clear-cut answer as a yes or a no. No, hold on a second, if you don't mind, please. So from that perspective, we're aware that there's going to be an increase, but there are things, inflation, instability throughout global instability. Those things have a factor because that affects the type of resource that we need, whether it be pipes, whether it be materials for those pipes or anything like that. And then the cost of labor. Labor fluctuates from time to time. So when we say that, yes, we know that it's coming up, but it's also a factor to say that we can't plan for everything. And so if you take into consideration what other municipalities have done, DC, PA, Philadelphia, so to speak, we're well under what we should be charging as far as service. And understand from this perspective of the fees that we're passing along, they're at cost. DPW isn't making any money. The city of Baltimore isn't making any money. It's just for the cost of keeping infrastructure in place and to keep it safe based off of state and federal regulations. A good question, I appreciate it. Yes.
Baltimore County, they also use our water, but they're not paying like we pay.
So I'm saying this, so the question was, does Baltimore County utilize our water and utilize our resources? Yes. I can't think of any county within the state, immediate state that surrounds Baltimore City that does not utilize our water. Anne Arundel, Howard, yada, yada, yada. They all utilize our water. As far as why and what the cost is, they pay, so their bills are billed differently, right? So in Baltimore City, we pay on a monthly basis. In Baltimore County, they're billed on a quarterly basis. Their bills are based off of, their bills is billed into their property tax. Their bills are billed off of their property tax and then billed accordingly based off of that. So that's why their billing is different.
Is their property tax higher or lower?
Well, it's lower, but their property is built into their property taxes, so and they get billed on a quarterly basis compared to us getting billed on a monthly basis.
Well, it's no big deal because we just get billed on a quarterly basis, so. We all use the same water, but we're paying a lot more.
I would say that I've had a couple of customers that made dispute that in Baltimore County. Great question. Thank you. Sorry, hand in the back.
No, I just wanted to hear what her question was.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I can't remember exactly how long ago, but we used to get a quarterly bill also. And when you got a quarterly bill, it's a lot cheaper than a monthly bill, so.
So that's, I can't give you, I'm sorry.
I mean,
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I wouldn't say that was a public
The
thing,
best
but.
example I can give you is, I was born and raised in Baltimore City. I'll be 60 years old in July.
God bless
As
you.
a child, we paid a monthly water bill every 3 months. That's what it was.
Well, based off of what we're allowed to do,
We got those smart meter things? Yeah, those smart meter things came in, what, like, it's,
In the 80s or the
no, like reflected.
but that's also when we had meter techs to go out and read your meters at the same time. Since Baltimore City is integrated into a smart system, so to speak, where the meters can be read virtually, mobily, we can get the information a lot quicker. So you don't have that lag time to require to collect that information, then to come back and then populate those records for your account and then bill you. So I can see the lead time being 3 months, but now that we're in a cloud-based system, so to speak, that information is a lot more readily available and accessible at this point.
And I didn't acknowledge that I had a second question, but I don't want to monopolize any of our time, so if nobody else has any questions, my second question is, and I guess I'm addressing the elephant in the room. All of us as city residents, as we go out around the city, we constantly see water leaks. And I guess that's part of the maintenance, but we feel like that's affecting our bill. Like every time you see a water leak, you say to yourself, oh God, how much is this gonna cost? Because it seems like we're accruing the bill, and the city has to do the maintenance, but now it appears like he said, it's an emergency now because it's leaking, and we're not getting water to our homes because it's leaking, or the water pressure is low because it's leaking, and it's all over the city. I mean, all over the city.
So I acknowledge what you say, but I also take into consideration right now in the season that we're in, and we're coming in, today is a beautiful day, but we're in the winter months. And so we're gonna see those water main breaks, right? And that, we're gonna see that occur from time to time. I will say this first and foremost, what you occur within your water bill is what you occur within your household. That is the amount of consumption that you have within your household. What you see occurring out on the street, that's built in, and those are the things that we take care of, and we have a department dedicated for that to review that information. That doesn't affect your bill. That has nothing to do with your bill, but it does affect you getting the quality service that you need, because when it's down and they need to go out and repair that, yeah, they're gonna shut the water off for the street to make that, remain that service repair line. And I acknowledge that, and it is an inconvenience, but it's a necessity that has to take place for that. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I'm assuming a huge amount of the maintenance that would repair stuff that's gonna be happening is to replace some of the lead piping, or is that not as much of a factor?
So, from my understanding, and I can be corrected if I'm wrong, I can double check it though, and I'll give you my card for that. The lead pipes that we have in Baltimore, I don't recall. I believe that those lead pipes should have been replaced. So, right, those have been replaced. I get confirmation from the DPW colleague.
We got time for one more question.
Oh, thank you. One more question? And it's who's answer? I don't know. You sure?
We can do two.
I don't want to leave my
How much, I guess, with the noise repairs as well, had to do with, does DPW have like, is a private, public partnership where if it is, was there a struggle of like trying to find like, private companies to help with repairs throughout the years?
So, not fully aware of all that, but what I would say is we enter in partnerships with contractors all the time, because there's certain things that DPW in whole fully can't or don't have the bandwidth or the power, the manpower to handle it. So we have to reach out to contractors to kind of handle some of those items. And that, I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's the things that we come across from time to time. All right. Ma'am, no one forget you.
Are you the only one here from DPW?
I'm the one from DPW representing CSSD billing for the most part. Yeah, there's another individual here from DPW.
Oh, okay, all right. Question, I'm from Connecticut. Whenever we rent a place, they always put our name on the water bill. I'm having a difficult time. My landlord will not put my name on it for some reason. Is that a law thing or what?
So we bill to the owner.
That's not fair. The owner is not paying for it. I'm paying for my water. I want my bill to come to me. That's right. And it's not fair that I went down to the water place and they told me I had to get the whole landlord.
Yes.
And try to get a bill to come to my house so I can pay it. But they will not, they don't, that's not mandatory. And I don't think it's fair.
So from a legal standpoint, the way that we are set up, the bills go to the owner unless otherwise specified.
That is the dumbest. I'm gonna tell you straight up. The
Yeah.
dumbest.
Well, the landlord have to make sure that the bills are paid, so sometimes tenants don't pay bills.
But that's not fair. I don't care what.
Your landlord-
Listen, I'm not talking about nobody else but me.
Yeah, but your landlord should make sure every month that you get a bill, a copy of the bill.
I'll
Get an invoice for that.
I have never gotten a bill. I have to figure out to say, I'll go online trying to figure out percentage wise. I'm 72 years old.
Yeah.
I add and subtract money, and that's all I can do. This division, the 30% and all this kind of sense, don't make any sense to me. So I don't think it's fair. And I've called several people to find out why I can't get the bill in my name. They explained to me after I spent a whole day down at the water place, and it didn't get no results. But yet still, let me not pay that bill. Guess who they're gonna come back? Not the landlord, they're coming to me. and I don't think it's fair. So being how you the only one here, you won't get my right.
I understand.
All right, you understand?
I do.
Hey, it's nothing personal,
I
okay?
didn't take it personally.
But I hope you don't, because if you do, that's shame on you.
My mom would have told me shame on me for that.
Okay? I just want to let you know.
I will say you should be able, this is for, if you prefer to use the internet, you can look up your water bill by just putting in your
That doesn't make
address.
any sense. I do that. That's how I pay my bill. And it doesn't, I should get a bill.
I agree, it's so annoying.
Yeah, and then,
We have, when we, in our own places, the same situation.
and then I have to send the money to the landlord, not to the water company. For them to pay the bill, because everybody else don't pay their bill. That is not fair. And who am I supposed to talk to about this? Nobody wants to listen. They tell me to go to the landlord. I don't even know who my landlord. All I do is pay my rent. Try to pay my BG&E bill.
They're here too. You get to talk to them later, Liz.
Oh, they here too?
Yes, I
On that note, first of all, a round of applause. It's not an easy job. Next up, we got Eric Kaufman from Baltimore Enough Initiative.
How's everybody doing? All right, good to see everybody. My name's Aaron Kaufman. I'm with the Central Baltimore Partnership, and actually, I want to introduce my new colleague and staff member, Micah Mathis. So you'll be seeing a lot of Micah around. Say hello. Hi. So for folks, again, Central Baltimore Partnership, we're a place-based community development nonprofit. We support 11 neighborhoods, holistic revitalization. We have folks who support commercial revitalization work, primarily along North Avenue and Greenmount Avenue. The Station North Arts and Entertainment District is underneath our umbrella, so we do a lot of artist-based support. And then where Mike and I play more of a role is kind of on our community resilience work and neighborhood-based partnerships and coalition building. So I wanted to give an update on one of the new initiatives that we are working on as an organization and kind of how it will connect with Harwood and really the Greenmount Avenue corridor. So just recently, in January, we were awarded through the Governor's Office of Families a Track 2 planning grant through the Governor's Office, and it's called the Enough Initiative. And the Enough Initiative essentially is an initiative that is supporting improving the conditions that lead to childhood poverty. So the Enough Initiative really focuses on kind of 4 primary metric categories, all affecting, again, the conditions that lead to childhood poverty. So we have cradle to career, which everything around early childhood development all the way up to high school, vocational, post-educational opportunities. Economically secure families, so a lot of things around maximizing benefits, around workforce development, opportunities and economic mobility. Healthy families, so different things that improve people's health, whether it's economic benefit maximization, whether it's infant mortality rates, maternal health care, different things. Obviously, we're going to be closely watching the impact of potential Medicaid cuts or different things and how that's going to affect the healthcare industry and people achieving, their health. Is that all right? So somebody's calling with that. And then safe and thriving communities. So that's really an extension of the work that we're already doing. So a lot of that health, housing, open space, infrastructure, different work. So we'll continue that work. That's everything from our community spruce up grant programs to raising subsidy for housing development along Greenmount Avenue, to improving green spaces and open spaces, et cetera. And so Enough, essentially, what it's going to do is over the next 9 months, so through this calendar year, we have kind of a couple major deliverables. So the first deliverable is we are gonna like re-up on public-facing asset maps. So we are gonna be revamping our website, but going around to different community groups in order to, again, identify the different assets within communities and make sure that they are publicly available and that people can access those publicly. Number two is we're going to be aggregating a series of different needs assessments. So one of the big things is making sure that we're supporting both communities and through this work, because there's a lot of educational achievement and academic achievement, our school-based and community-based partnerships through schools. And so we'll be aggregating the needs assessments of 3 primary schools, population level needs assessments from community groups, our community health needs assessment, all sorts of different elements that will make up a collective needs assessment associated with these 4 categories. Again, cradle to career, healthy families, economically secure families, and then safe and thriving neighborhoods. And then the last is we'll be putting together a plan around recommendations for how to address those. Throughout this process, and Mike is going to be a big part of this, is we're going to be re-engaging schools, community groups, and you all. We want to find out the right way to do that, to make sure that we're bringing in the appropriate input, to make sure that that neighborhood action plan and those recommendations are informed and accurately respond to the different needs that you guys are all experiencing. And in particular, how our young families and our growing families are supported really from birth into their career trajectory. So a couple other just like very quick technical aspects. So the geography that we're working in, Harwood is one of 5 neighborhoods that's a part of this collective initiative. And again, we're acting as a quarterback organization. What we really want to do is make sure that we're facilitating and growing partnerships along the entire Green Mountain Avenue. Not the entire Green Mountain Avenue corridor, but a portion of the Green Mountain Avenue corridor. Yeah. And so the neighborhoods that really are inclusive of this initiative are Greenmount West, Barclay, East Baltimore Midway, Harwood, and Better Waverly. And actually there are other enough grantees that actually border that and extend that work. So the Y of Central Maryland is also a Track 2 grantee supporting neighborhoods further north. We're one of 27 grantees throughout the state. And so there are multiple, I want to say up to 15 Baltimore City grantees in different parts of the city as well. So we'll be working collectively with this, with all different grantees to share lessons learned and see how we can, implement place-based strategies to really, again, address some of these chronic conditions that lead to childhood poverty. And the 3 primary schools that we're going to be working with are Cecil Elementary School, Dallas Elementary School, and then Barclay Elementary Middle, which is in this area. With that, I want to pass it off to Micah, who's going to talk a little bit just about like the timeline, and then definitely answer questions. Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Here, you talk, I'll pass these out. So just, again, I want to give you guys like some summaries of the materials.
I don't mean no harm, but you put on a lot of things. Who are you?
My name's Aaron. I work for a community development nonprofit called the Central Baltimore Partnership. Yeah. That's fine.
But enough is through the state, right?
Enough is a state, it's a state initiative. Yep. And so we're one of 27 grantees.
How much
from the state.
How much will you grant?
Yeah, so there's 2. So planning grantees were granted 300,000, and we're splitting that between us and a group called Urban Strategies. Urban Strategies works with single head of household families. They work with 70 single head of household families within this neighborhood catchment. And they'll be also developing a program level needs assessment specifically related to the single head of household families. And we'll be using that to inform the plan as well. Yeah, so we split, essentially it's operating support to be able to facilitate this planning process. Yep, and that's actually...
Like a social thing. I'm stoked. confused about this situation. If you're going into houses that know people,
So we do have a program that does help legacy and longtime homeowners. So there's a multitude of different programs, right? So this
because I agree with you, y'all said, we have an inflation going on. And y'all keep breaking up all these other programs that's not helping the homeowners or the renters or something. I still don't understand what you do.
Sure. So
So Aaron, I think, and I had a note here for you also. Can you say what you just said, just in regulars?
Right.
Because it's like it's initiatives and programs and that, and it becomes jumbled after a while. So just speak in regular speak, so everybody can be like, oh, we're gonna get these kids money for breakfast, so they don't starve in school, so they do better in school.
the goal is to create a strong network along the entire 5 neighborhood corridor so that we can address some of the conditions that lead to poverty.
Oh, now that was easy.
I will also say, one of the things that Central Baltimore Partnership has done is they've acted as sort of the hub for grant making to the different community organizations. So we've gotten money from them, they've gotten money for the garden, they have helped, they do a whole bunch of different things. They get money and because Aaron is connected to all the different community associations.
Nice. I thank you for that, because I live in that area.
And I'll add that my work in Harwood is also through the Central Baltimore Partnership.
Yeah, so we, on average, annually, we raise somewhere between $2 and $4 million that we pass through to a multitude, up to 15 programs. So this allows us to really do the deep dive around understanding community needs, so that when we go out and raise money, that it responds to the things that you're telling us, and that they support programs that intentionally support improving quality of life in these neighborhoods.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to revise my speech. Noted.
All right, like us.
Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate that.
Okay, I think you do.
All right, so if everyone actually has the slides with you, could you turn to the page that says the Enough Act Initiative timeline for me, please? It might be like the very back of it, honestly.
The last page?
Last page.
Oh, that's right, I have one. Yeah, so it's the very last page. So looking through the months, so with the stars currently, this is January through March, which is actually Q1. So a lot of these things that we have accomplished within the last 2 months. So if you notice through April through June, it says we're going to be starting community outreach efforts between school meetings, community meetings such as Harwood and others, along with looking at focus groups. So you'll be seeing a lot of Aaron and myself out with you guys, asking questions, asking things that kind of relate to what is going on in the Enough Initiative and where you see fit for things to be changed, or that could have some sort of difference in impact of behaviors and attitudes. Along with that, we kind of want to match this around the scheduling of any activities with Harwood. So if we can get a schedule of dates so we can align them and come out more, have more questions for you all. If you guys have any questions for us, that would be greatly appreciated. Along with, we are, like as Aaron mentioned, we are collecting old data and we're going to revitalize it and go through it and kind of match it to what is going on today and ask you all questions, because you all are an important asset of this community and your words do matter, and we do care what you have to say in regards to what's going on in your backyard, around the way for schools, neighborhoods, kids that you see, everything.
And a big element to this is we don't want to necessarily over survey, over focus group, to death. So we're trying to go through previous needs assessments that were done, identify where gaps in understanding are, and then come back to the community to fill those gaps.
Got a question over here to you.
Yeah.
Are you guys, besides talking with the elementary schools, are you gonna be talking with say the village learning place or some of the daycare centers or?
Yeah, so one of the big emphases of this plan is to really do an assessment of early childhood learning landscape. right? So I've been learning a lot over this past month about 0 to 3 care, pre-K 3, pre-K 4, who gets funded where there are scholarships, where aren't there scholarships, you know, like what are the easy ways in which we can get the educational supports for young people, but also the maternal care and family care to allow people to access those types of resources. So we absolutely are going around to, and I just recently learned this, public pre-K, private pre-K, faith-based pre-K, and family-based pre-K child care centers. So we definitely want to understand what's here, what's not here, and how we can create like easier pathways towards families accessing that early learning, those early learning resources. Yeah, and yes, we will be talking to providers as well, in addition to like families.
Any other questions?
You mentioned that one of your deliverables is an asset map.
Yeah.
Is that something that would be available and useful to the community, or is that purely a like internal planning document? And if it's something that we'll have access to, what's an asset?
Sure. So I will ask you all the same thing, but it will live on our website through a Google map, so that people can look up where are your local schools, community centers, you know, child care centers, after-school providers, youth work sites, all those different things. So it'll live on our revised website, which we're trying to get up and running in the next month and a half, this particular portion of the website. So it should be a living document that people can access through our website. We'll try to find ways in which I think, you know, you can create directories. I don't know how much people like really love directories and like they go in and out in terms of like being updated and not, but we can absolutely like transfer the asset map into a directory as well. But I think those are the different things that we'll want to identify are, you know, schools, you know, after school care, child care centers, food distribution, healthcare locations, all, you know, via like a Google map so that people can access it. Yeah, and then we'll come back out as a part of the outreach process is like, what are the types of assets that we're not thinking about, right? Because you guys may have assets in your community that you feel really strongly about that we're not thinking of like in the traditional sense. And we can add those as well.
One last question over here.
So just to clarify, your final deliverable is the asset map and then a recommendation report. And my question is the recommendations, we'll also talk about funding next steps to be able to do this thing. And where there's other grants that are more on the implementation side.
Yeah, so 3 final deliverables, asset map, a collective needs assessment that we'll share publicly, and then the neighborhood action plan with recommendations. The whole point, well, one of the pathways towards funding as a part of being an enough grantee, so they have track 1 partnerships, track 2 planning, and track 3 implementation. By completing the track 2 planning document, we would then be eligible for track 3 implementation funding through the state and would be able to apply for up to $3 million worth of funding.
So you have to do this to get the money.
Correct.
And just one
And they would be directly tied to the recommendations within the plan, yeah.
And just one note, I don't know if you know the organization United Workers, they also work with
Yeah, yes, I see them when I go over there, and they're a great advocate for the community over there. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next up, we're gonna have BG come up and speak, and know that they will be back here at the table afterwards as well, so don't feel the need to let them know about your bills just yet. You can talk to them afterwards. You got it. You wanna come up and speak?
No. But we are available to engage. I know that we want to have some conversations.
Yeah.
We'll talk. But
we will reclaim our time.
tonight. We've had a lot of great information. We're going to be doing a community vote on the approval to transition towards a 501c3, a nonprofit organization. Many of you may have assumed that the community association was a 501c3, was a nonprofit. We're not. We are an organization that's recognized by the state of Maryland, but we do not have nonprofit status. There's some reasons that we thought this was a really smart move. A lot of them are tied to money and tied to our own control. So I'm just going to say a couple quick words about why we want to become a 501c3, and we'll field some questions. And then we're going to just do a very quick vote. Please be mindful, the vote is restricted to people who are members of the community association. So we've got just a simple ballot. We're going to go on the honor system. We don't have like a formal roll. So if you think you're a member, you're probably a member. You remember you paid your dues at some point. That's good enough. We're not going to go down a checklist. But the bottom line is this community association has been through a roller coaster of stuff over the last few years. Several years ago, we were under the nonprofit, what they call sponsorship, a fiscal sponsor called Strong Cities Baltimore. Anybody who's been involved in the Baltimore nonprofit scene knows that was a disaster. They crashed and burned. We lost money. A lot of organizations lost money. There were a lot of problems tied to that. We were able to move to another small organization that provided us with our fiscal sponsorship. Fiscal sponsorship means that we can use their nonprofit status to apply for grants under their umbrella. We can use their nonprofit status to get for them to hold our money in their bank account. They can set aside like a special account within their bank account to hold our money, things like that. That was a short-term agreement. We are currently under the fiscal sponsorship of Waverly Improvement Association, and they're great. They've been very accommodating, as was the previous organization. But it represents a lot of extra work for them, and it also represents a lot of extra work for us just to get very basic things done. For example, if you've ever tried to pay your dues through the links on our website, you will notice they go to me. And that makes me very uncomfortable. It makes other people uncomfortable, as it should. But we don't have a way around that because we don't have our own bank account. Because we're not a nonprofit organization. So we can't just go to a bank and be like, give us a bank account. They give me a bank account, but they won't give the organization a bank account. As a 501c3, we would finally be able to have our own bank account. The other thing is it means that we will also be able to apply for grants much more easily. There are grants we're interested in applying to, but we have to go to our fiscal sponsor and we have to say, hey, we want to apply to this grant. It is only open to nonprofits or organizations with a fiscal sponsor. So do you give us permission to use your name when we apply for this grant? And it adds extra steps to everything. It's a pain. And it's also very challenging. We don't have our own insurance for things like this meeting. As a 501c3, we would actually be required to have insurance. All of this is to say, 501c3 simplifies a lot. One of the things we've been working on for the last year is formalizing a lot of the processes. Those of you who have been coming to this meeting for a long time, I hope you've seen some changes. We've been trying to formalize a lot of the processes. There was a handover post-COVID where there was almost not a handover. And a lot of the people who came in had no experience with the community association, and the people who did have experience on the board were just, they were gone. They were available if we had questions. We could call them up and be like, how did you handle this? But there were things we just didn't know to ask. And so we've been through a learning process for a year, and then last year we spent a lot of time trying to formalize processes. The reason why we're opening this up to a vote, though, is because 501c3 status does represent a pretty substantial change to the organization. And that's not a decision that we as the board can simply make on behalf of you. We want to make sure that we reflect the interests, the needs, the priorities of the community in this process. And so, per the bylaws, if you want to change the bylaws, you have to give a month's notice. We gave a month's notice last month. And then you have to hold a vote at a public meeting. And again, members are the ones who can vote on this. If you're not a member, if you're pretty sure you're not a member, please don't ask for a ballot. But that's the long and short of it. There's a lot of additional like little details. The one question that some people have asked in the past is, okay, but what if you decide that like being a 501c3 was the wrong move? How do you undo that? And the thing about being a 501c3, there's an old joke, a favorite comedian of mine. He says, when an escalator is broken, it just becomes stairs. Yes, Mitch Hedberg. If we don't want to be a 501c3, we simply stop. It's that simple. We just stop. The only other major significant change that requires for a 501c3 is if we have $50,000 or more moving through us as an organization. That would be a wonderful problem to have. If we go over 50,000 in a year, the paperwork expectations are much higher. But if we have $50,000 moving through us in a year, we will have the resources to hire a professional accountant or bookkeeper to make sure that we do this paperwork properly. As it stands, a 501c3 for an organization that does not have that much money going through it is essentially a postcard. We own no real estate. It's so simple. It's very basic, and it's really what we were doing before. On that note, are there any questions about this process? When we become a 501c3, we will also get the opportunity to get a membership at Restaurant Depot. So, as a longtime restaurant worker, that's just like Mecca to me. Anyway, so Adam, you have the ballots. We just get a couple people to just pass over some pens, and it's really simple. It's yes, no, or abstain. I don't want to put people on the spot, so we're doing a paper ballot. You don't have to, if you're not comfortable with the whole thing, you can say no, or you can say it's not on me. Go ahead. No proxy voting. We can't do online voting. It's just the people who are here. At some point, we would like to be able to move to a situation that enables online voting. We are streaming live, but we're not there yet.
Don't worry. You guys got
You're on the board, I can look here. He's done. He's the best
could we bring out, there might actually be a separate thing that is
So, thank you everybody, appreciate your time. Just a couple more things before we wrap up tonight. Unfortunately, Odette Ramos could not be here tonight, but we are
Still got a couple more pieces to go through.
Odette Ramos couldn't be here tonight, but she did say that we're planning a walkthrough with the DOT Department of Transportation folks, focusing particularly on 28th and 29th. This has been an ongoing concern. We will have more information for you at the next meeting or beforehand, but that is in process. The other thing we had dumpster day 2 days ago, and it was a rousing success. I mean, like really the first event we've had with the new board, and they just knocked it out of the park. It was fantastic. We have another dumpster day. Savannah, what's the date?
The next one will be May 31st, same general time period. Again, as people saw, the dumpster doesn't necessarily arrive right at 8 a.m. Depends on what is happening with the dumpster. But it should be starting from 8 a.m. till noon. And if you have big stuff, you'll need help, feel free to just email us, text us, whatever.
Location?
Um,
Is that Harwood West? Or are we doing?
I think it is at 2700 Boone Street.
Okay, so that'll be Harwood West on the other side of, I'm sorry, Harwood East.
It'll be in I think it's in Harwood East, but I will.
More information forthcoming. We do have some other things we're planning on. We will have more information for you when they're a bit more solid, but.
I'm just realizing we don't have enough time,
Okay.
months-wise.
Sure. Okay, it's the 27th, right?
Yeah.
So tentative date, June 27th, block party on the 300 block of 27th Street. It's going to be the first block party that we've had with, like, you know, in several years, like since pre-COVID, I think. June 27th.
And for the people on the events committee, if anybody's here, I know we have a list, but I just want to, if you could just email me or text me in the little, WhatsApp, yeah.
But yeah, June 27th, it's going to be like a post end of school year, kick off the summer, do it properly. It's going to be.
We're going to block the street off. We're going to have,
So that's Friday?
fire
It's a Friday,
breathers. We're going to have food. We're going to have national sponsors. Local celebrities. We're doing it big time. So BGE, if you're in the building, you want to support something in Harwood, Goodwill, this will be the thing. Also, DPE, this will be something to support. We bring in some people from the Ravens, possibly.
possible? Like, we doing it big, all just doing it big.
We're gonna go as big as we can. Ainsley's on top of it, and we want it to be big, and we want it to be memorable, because, this is gonna be a very interesting summer, and we want to thrive. Whatever happens, as a neighborhood, we want to thrive. The only other thing, we got a gentleman who's part of our neighborhood who's got a couple of things to talk about. Tim? Yep. Tim.
Hey everyone, my name is Tim. I'm off of 28th and Barclay. In the past, I've always worked during these meetings, so I've never been able to come. So today is my actually first time. So thanks y'all. Hi neighbors. Hey y'all. I am a student at the University of Maryland, College Park, studying urban planning, and I'm working on a project that has to do with sewage overflows here in Baltimore, kind of flooding backups in people's homes. As we know, that's been kind of a historic issue here, where a lot of times, especially post-raining, unfortunately there's sewage that leaks into people's homes, and so people are stuck with that. How are people managing with that? If they're either cleaning up themselves or they're calling 311 and reporting that. And so essentially what we're trying to do here is, if you know of anyone that has this issue, to reach out. I have here some flyers. What we'll do is we will provide a $75 stipend, and what we're looking for is we'll be taking some tests. So essentially just getting almost like a ear cleaner or a swab essentially of what is going on, testing that bacteria to see if there's anything in there. Oftentimes there can be a lot of diseases and bacteria that is very sick for us, like MRSA, E. coli, things like that. And what we'll do is we'll test that and we'll deliver those results back to the homeowner to ensure it so they can take the next steps. And what we're trying to do is trying to see where is it occurring the most, and then based off of that information that we take, we can then provide that to DPW as well as the policyholders here in Baltimore, so they can actually make some more changes when it comes to our infrastructure. So please let me know if you have any questions. I left a bunch of flyers here in Spanish and in English. So if you know anyone, I know we're here in a small community, but if you know anyone outside of this neighborhood as well, please feel free to share. And this is not just also for Baltimore; it's also for Montgomery County and Prince George's County, as well as Baltimore County. So we're trying to kind of reach out and see how we can help. Any questions?
Are you guys going to be doing like a door knocking campaign? Because we both are very
I will. Because I'm at College Park, they don't have a lot of people from Baltimore, so I'm the guy door knocking. But I figured, instead of me knocking on every single door, I'll start off here first before I start doing some more door knocking.
Is this only for homeowners?
No, it is not.
Your renter, if I call
Yes,
you,
yes.
you're going to ask me for the landlord's address?
No. It is a cash stipend, so there's nothing, it's straight to you, there's no, funny paperwork or whatever it may be.
What do you mean by cash out? We get paid to, people that we got?
Yes, ma'am. So what we'll do is we'll provide $75, even if,
I didn't hear all that.
yeah, so we'll provide $75, and essentially it takes no more than 30 minutes, 30 minutes. What we do is we'll come in, we take essentially 3 separate swabs to test for 3 separate things, and then we take a survey. One's just like a visual survey to see is there water on the floor? Is there not? What does the pipes look like? And then the second is asking some more questions to you. When did it occur? How much, or what did you do? Did you clean it up? Did you not? Just some kind of basic overall information about the incident. And what we're really trying to do is use 311 data as well as DPW data, and see to actually try and find these floodings directly as they're occurring or right after the incident. So a lot of times, as we know, my last house here in Baltimore, every time it rained, my basement was flooded.
That's what I'm having. It's not flooded, but it's enough to agitate, because I have to get down there and clean it up. These places supposed to have some home, I was told, I don't have it.
Interesting.
It's just in the middle. And I told the landlord often, what they do, they came and put something in the drainage to keep it from overflowing. But everything is going in the basement. So I'm
Yeah.
having a difficult time with the backup of the water. So do I get $75 for $75?
Yes, you do. You get 75 bucks. No, literally, that's yeah. So we what essentially what the survey is us talking to you to learn about what exactly you just explained to me. Is when did it happen? What did you do? How did it make you feel?
I was out. Go in the basement, come back up, go in the basement, come back up. I got signed. I got arthritis. You know, I'm old, and I ain't got no business out there. I'm about to lose that car. But if you leave it down there, then, you get mold and mildew.
Yep.
So somebody got to do it.
Yeah, I think you get $75 for writing that down.
Okay.
It's not even, we write it down. You don't have to. You can tell
Want my
us.
name in my dress? I need to go towards this BB immediately.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. We're gonna open the floor up to neighborhood concerns now. So if you have, this is your chance to get on your shoebox, let us know about any issues that you're having, and we will do our best to get you the right resources. Anybody? We're gonna open the floor to neighborhood concerns now. So if you have any concerns within the neighborhood, street light is out, whatever, okay.
I have a problem with my alley. I get out there in the streets when the trash man comes. We used to have somebody come by and sweep up the alley. They ain't been like. We used to have inspectors come by each house to make sure your yard is clean. We don't have that no more. So that's just being piled up back there. Especially if they renovating houses, they put the stuff in the house.
So that's a 311. You reported to 311?
I did. You know where they came?
And then?
They came. Don't get me wrong. But
Is there a
they
private
only
property?
did it behind 3 houses. That's as far as they went. I went back out there, I spoke to the man, and gave him some water and everything. Next thing I knew, I went back in the house and I came back out to the yard.
The trick is to tell them and to tell Odette Ramos. Because Odette is very good about making sure that they do a complete job. Because they will do a partial job. They'll read a ticket very, very minimally. If a ticket's for, if it looks like it's just for one house, even though the problem is, 5 houses long.
I said the whole alley.
I understand. So, just talk to me. If you need to report it again, I'll make sure that Odette knows. You get her the ticket.
And if people are dumping debris from renovation, I'm interested in that too.
So the question about legal dumping, was it
That is not the problem. It's the garbage man. The garbage is the problem. I can't stand it. You know, I'm always out there.
Anyone else? So Isaac, you can connect with her on that 311 request. Hey y'all, can I get everybody's attention real quickly?
I have one challenge since I moved to my current address, is that there is a lot of dumping on my corner, by my alley, and it seems like there's I don't know how to put it, a trash can war over whose is whose, which is fine. I don't really care if my trash can yours, but it seems like they are not being used, and then I always have lots of just open trash that then our ratties come and kind of go through the sandwich. So I live right off of Barclay at 28th, So that's just, I'm just saying out here, it's a lot, because those rats have now tried to come into my house.
Yeah, when you say trash can war, it's like you and another neighbor.
Yeah, which is fine, that's not, but it's I guess the lack of use of trash cans.
Oh, they're just putting bags out?
Yeah, trash bags.
Oh, I have like
Yeah.
6 extra trash cans at the back of my house. I don't know why they're here. They literally always line up.
Do you have recycling cans?
Like 27 and Green Mountain.
Yeah, he's got a recycling.
Yeah, my neighbor took mine. I need a recycling can. You got a recycling can?
No, I don't.
Yeah, one of them is on, right?
You're right.
Yeah, that's two. That was my first week here.
Okay.
One other thing for, this is from the CBD world, is they're having a huge spring meeting. I have to be sure that this is followed up on, but this is gonna be on April 5th from 1 to 3 at the 2640 space. And I'll be sure that we do more of a Harwood communication on that, but that is supposed to be so people know what's happening at the event and like.
What is it for?
It's for the Charles Village Community Benefits District.
Those are the people that do our trash cleaning, like the trash guys that come through. The
Yeah.
green trash cans are also through CBCD. We pay everybody in our neighborhood, well.
Yeah,
At
so
least-
at East Harwood, everybody you have a certain amount for home tax that feeds into the benefits district.
The security guard, there's like 2 security cars.
Extra rat abatement, they also have like some youth development programs to get started, so they're reenacting and stuff like that. So, this is like they're trying to, they have a new executive director as of like just last year, and he's like trying to get more awareness and stuff like that. So if you have questions about what they do and are interested to get more involved, this is the way to do it.
Now, who are you again?
She's one of the board members.
Yeah, I'm Savannah, and I'm our.
For us.
I'm the
Yeah, she's been here for years.
Thank you, Savannah.
But I am a Harwood person.
Any other neighborhood concerns?
Actually, I guess to feed into, I guess, the question about the fashion stuff is that originally, like a few years ago, I heard that when they do trash pickup, they're not supposed to be staging trash cans, which is essentially when they actually like take trash cans and put them in one area to dump them and they just leave them there. And then when you actually like look for your trash can, you can't find that. So I guess for the DPW representatives here, what's being done in order to mitigate that? Because that's one of the main issues I've had with trash pickup is like, where's my trash can? Where do I go in order to find it? I remember originally they said there was going to be like GPS tracking with that. I don't think that exists.
Absolutely not. As far as the staging of the cans, if that does occur, everybody should have my contact information. Hopefully you do. Reach out to me and let me know, because that's one of the ways that we're trying to resolve that. We have to know exactly where it is and when it's happening. Not 3 days after the trash has been picked up and you put your can back. You know, we need to know when it happens, because we want to get out there. And I think it was explained to someone earlier that sometimes we work with contractors. So we have to deal with that side of it also, to make sure that they know exactly what they should be doing and how we operate at DPW. So please contact me with that information, and we'll make sure that we follow up.
Before the question is asked, who are you? What's your name? What's your contact?
And for one person, I'm Terrence Brown, DPW Community Liaison for Districts 4, 12, and 14.
Okay, you got that on this piece of paper, you saying? Cause I'm a writer, y'all was telling me stuff.
And
It's
so-
like in one ear and pick out the other one.
No, that's not on any paper that we gave out today.
Well,
My contact information is on the card.
What call?
I-
Oh, thank you, Doc. I guess y'all don't want me to.
You know, here and then there.
So I just tried to access the Baltimore City Water Rates increase page, the QR code that's on the back and the link itself, and I keep getting an access denied.
Yeah, just found that out today.
Okay.
So apologies on that. So that's why I recommended that you go to DPW's website and then access it that way. We're gonna talk internally about getting that correct because we shouldn't pass on information that isn't correct. But the numbers on here are solid, the numbers on here are good as far as contacting for the water for all in the promise page. If you've got any questions in regards to getting on a payment plan or any type of assistance that we can offer. Again, apologies for that. And yeah, the QRL doesn't work. I mean, QRL, everything else as far as the numbers are straight on. And if you got any questions, I'll leave you my card as well. So that way, if you run into any issues, then we can touch base with you. All right, thank you, sir.
Oh, wait, hold on one second. For DPW or?
Yes, but yeah.
Okay, good.
I just have a quick announcement related to alleys and that issue. If you live on the northern block of 28th Street or the southern block of Ilchester or near Moxie, which is where I live on Guilford 28th, we're doing an alley cleaning on Saturday the 19th. And we'll be working with Charles Village Benefits Districts to get alley cleaning supplies. They bring like push brooms and bags and gloves and like bring all that stuff to you. And Moxie is going to donate some food, some pizza, some meal, or some kind of food. So it'll be the afternoon on Saturday, April 19th. If you live near Moxie, you can come out, meet your neighbors, have some food, pick up some trash. We try to do it once a year because the alleys are always gross. And just a little 2 hours picking up trash makes a big difference for a few months, especially when it starts getting warmer right now. In March and April it starts to snow. So we're gonna do that, and if you want help with setting one up yourself,
What time?
I don't know. We haven't gone that far. I'm gonna design a flyer next week. Probably 2 to 4. Saturday, April 19th.
Probably 2 to 4, and we will get that flyer and post it.
So this is just the same thing.
So I got second for our BG rep.
Isaac mentioned the last time we were at a meeting about the police department for John Hopkins. Is that still moving forward? And if they do that, are you going to try and get them here?
No progress yet, so we'll have updates next week.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of meetings set up, but nothing's really gone through just because of the people that we need.
Okay.
Okay.
I just had a quick DPW question. So, do you all know anything about the whole situation with the East Harwood, particularly 2700 block of Matthews Street? They basically, for a long time now, everyone who lives there has to put their trash cans on Boone Street because the alley behind 500 block of 2700 block of Matthews needed significant reconstruction. So they finally, the city, reconstructed the alley last week. So it's brand new. And for in the meantime, we moved our trash cans into the road. But now none of us really know where to put our trash cans. So do you know if we're going back to that, or do you not know? Do you know who might know?
I'm not aware of what you're speaking of, but it's not hard to find out. I will say most likely you will be going back to that. If that was the case, and the only reason why you started to put your cans in the front was to have the alley repaired. Now it's repaired, you should go right back to it. But I'd like to, well, if you have, please reach out so I can update you on that.
Anyone else?
Got everybody reaching out to him. How you gonna get to everybody?
Hey, that's his job. He's got 8 hours in a day to get it ready.
Don't tell me about the job, because there's so much, you tell us to go and call these people, nobody answers the phone. What?
I think that's a question for you, sir.
Nobody answers the phone.
He does.
Or you put them
I
on
called
hold,
before, he
and
makes
you
up.
hold, and you hold, and you hold. And then they tell you to put your phone number, click, and they'll call you back. You never get a call back. So damn you do and damn you don't. I don't understand what's going on in this process. But they say if we don't call, don't we call? We don't get no help.
I can only speak for myself. Please call me. Please, continue to call Terrence Brown, please.
If he doesn't pick up your call, we'll catch him in the parking lot, okay? All right, one last thing before we wrap up. We got the tally for the votes. It is 100% unanimous yes, so we will be moving forward. Process. Thank you all for coming out. Isaac, any last words?
Everybody give Greg a hand. Sarah, and then it disappeared.